I'm going to take an opportunity, just before I introduce our next presenter, to interject myself into some of this discussion, which is what you get to do when you're the MC. But I just want to link some of the things that have already been said into just sort of one flowing, rambling message. And that is this: the travesty, the unthought of, unfathomable tragedy that these perpetrators are trying to inflict on the Anishinaabe people in that river is compounded by two things. One is the sheer timing of it. Tito spoke or sang of the Idle No More movement. You know, a movement that's now in its third year that has sparked so much encouragement and life and pride in Indigenous people, especially Indigenous young people across this country, reconnected them to who they are and who we are as Anishinaabe people. Followed by the work that so many people did to get Canada to sign the UN Declaration on the Rights of Indigenous Peoples. And then even more work to get them to embrace the spirit under which that covenant was written. The timing, after not just last week when Justice Murray Sinclair and the other two commissioners issued the final report of the Truth and Reconciliation Commission that called on Canadians, all Canadians, to do some very specific things in the spirit of reconciliation. The very next day, those insert bad word here, people stuck a shovel in the ground in Chaudière Falls, just as a kind of a to people. So disrespectful, so profoundly disrespectful. And the other link I wanted to make was some of the things Gabby was saying about what happened in the West, where I come from, about how people were forced to sign treaties to live on reserve because they were starved. And that is the kind of same desperation that the developers of Windmill are doing. They go, let me give you just a gross example. We attend the Assembly of First Nations General Assemblies every year, just to meet with chiefs and talk about the work that we're doing and the like. At these assemblies, they have a trade show where resource companies come and financial companies come and try to flog their wares to chiefs and members, First Nations members that come across the country. Always, the largest display is set up by, I forget what they're called, Nuclear Energy Canada. And what they're there for is they're trying to get First Nations to take spent nuclear fuel rods into their communities. And they know that there are some communities that are so desperate, where there's so limited economic activity that they'll take it. And that's what Windmill is doing to the people, some Algonquin people. Dividing, trying to drive this cleave into Algonquin people, saying, oh yeah, well, we talked to this group, they're with us, they're on side with us. But they're playing on the desperation of people who really need a leg up. But that's not the kind of leg up they need. So just the crassness in which, in what they're doing, when they're doing it, and how they're doing it is something that we need to speak out against to all our leaders.